Send a couple more
My
invites.
And if it seems like I'm in my menu, it's because I am. I'm inviting people.
Did you say anything? No? Yes? Go? Yes, I can hear you. Uh-huh.
All right, let me turn this down.
All right. All right. All right, everyone. We're going to get this started. Let me grab my handy dandy notebook.
Piggy balls. Why?
All right, everyone. Welcome to What's Tea Podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Baby Angel. I am here with a dynamic panel of people, of creators, and people who have something to add to the conversation. All right. All right, Divine, could you exit the bot off the stage, please?
Sure, sure.
1 second, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's good. All right. So, good evening and welcome to What's Tea Podcast. Tonight we're going live with a pop-up episode responding to a major shift announcement involving Horizon Worlds. Over the past few weeks, Horizon announced that Horizon Worlds will be transitioning its access model, moving from headset exclusively with the platform and placing emphasis on mobile and tablet accessibility. This change has sparked excitement, confusion, and concern across the VR creator community and users alike. Tonight, we're here to unpack what's fact, what's rumor, or misinformation, what this shift means for creators and communities, and what direction VR culture is going from here, excuse me. We'll have perspective from heavy hitters inside Horizon Worlds, voices you trust, voices who build, create, and live here. This isn't about a platform change, it's about community, culture, creativity, and what it means to evolve while still holding space for connection. Thank you guys so much for being here. I have on my panel Biggie Pauls, Teacher Danny, Vash Spike, Divine Intersection, and Sue to the Q. So, guys, before we dive into the meat and potatoes, I want you just to briefly all go around the table here and just let everyone know what you do here in Horizon Worlds, excuse me, and who you are and what you're known for.
I'll start on this side. Which side?
We could
You want
start
me to
with
start it off?
Biggie Pauls.
All right.
Yeah, let's start from the left over here.
All right, perfect. Biggie Pauls, I've been building and scripting on this platform since 2020, early 2022. One of the pioneers of the audio culture in the platform. One of the first, you know, to bring live DJing into the space. Shout out to Oculus. He was one of the other guy that was doing it at the same time. And yeah, it's sad, man, to see where this is going. So, something we love so much to see, the future being pulled out from underneath us. So, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for joining us today, Biggie Pauls. All right, Teacher Danny. Welcome to
Hey,
What's the Podcast.
Teacher Danny. Yeah, thanks. I call Teacher Danny because I'm actually a teacher in real life, and when I'm on here, I'm mostly scripting. Usually selling scripts or making scripts for people. Lately, I've been trying to make the scripts for myself so I can get some of that, world money. But now that the whole model is changing, luckily, I've been pushing into that. But another thing, nobody does one thing in here. And another thing I
Mhm.
like to do is make tutorials and make social media. And it's pretty much exclusively Horizon Worlds material. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, Teacher Danny. All right, and we have Vash Spike 2000. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah,
Hey.
Vatchback 2000. Joined early 2022 as well as a digital creator. It's a great outlet, to show my artwork. And I joined a team on here, VR and Review, where we made a few worlds for Horizon Worlds. And yeah, it's been a fun journey, but everything comes to an end, I guess, at some point. But it is what it is.
All right. Thank you for that, Vesh. All right. And we have Divine Intercession, who is not a stranger to What's Tea Podcast. Welcome back.
Cause you keep pulling me back here. So no, I'm just playing. Hi,
I
everybody.
can't stand you.
She can't get enough of me. I'm Divine Intercession.
Mhm.
I'm a creator, a liaison, and a spiritual advisor. I've been in Horizon Worlds since late 2022. And yeah, I don't really get on here like that anymore because fuck this shit. All right. Meet me in VR.
You funny.
Thank you, Divine. All right. And then we have Sue to the Q in the building. What's up, mamas?
Hey, what's up? What's up? So I'm Sue to the Q, founder of Indie Tours XR. That brand started here in Meta Horizons. I came in here mid 2022 when World Tours were still just going on and starting with Lex and Oculus. We are now the longest running tour in Meta Horizon Worlds, and we're going to continue doing that. We are adjusting to the shift, but I'm ready to get into the meat about this shift.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you. All right, and I want to give a shout out to my team real quick. Beneficial, he does production here as well as Exotic Prince. I appreciate you guys so much, and of course, the lovely Sue to the Q. She does our promotion here at What's Tea Podcast. Now, guys. Oh, also, I want to let the audience know if at any time you want to chime into the conversation, if you look behind you, there are two white podiums there to your left and to your right. You can go up at any time. You can ask a question or give a comment or, just simply speak on something. All opinions are welcome as long as you remain respectful, okay? So, guys. So, Meta has announced this shift. Let's start with what you've all heard or understood from it. And we could go in any order
But
just to start a
I
conversation.
was gonna say that's a great. I can't wait to hear what everybody hears because I've been asking every single person I know. I've been trying to network, and yeah, I've been studying, looking up, googling. You know what Google is, right? And
Always.
yeah, what's it called? I am not 100% sure.
Me
Like
neither.
what's gonna happen? Does anybody have solid timelines for anything?
Yeah, but they did say.
So,
Uh,
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
no, I'm saying they did say this month they're gonna put out more information on exact time. They're gonna pretty much fade out VR for Horizon Worlds. It is true they're highly focused on mobile. They've been talking about
Hmm.
this for a long time, honestly, through the grapevine. But it's here now. You know.
I as far as
Wow.
like the information that's going out there and the timelines, I think that people you have to remember that when you go into contracts, even as a creator with a business, whether or not it's a program or the partnership, there are NDAs and contracts on what exactly you can put out there and what you can't put out there. The lack of transparency that Meta has had from the beginning, since they started opening, has always been muddy, has always been very non-transparent. So
Hmm.
even considering what information is out there now, whether or not it's misinformation, one person can be sitting next to them and know exactly what is kind of going on and the direction it's going in, but they can't say anything, right? So then
Mhm.
you have a community of people and energy of people that are sitting here talking around people that do have knowledge and their inability to be able to speak, going, and they're just sitting there watching everybody be like, "Whoa, what's happening? Oh, it's going to be like this or this timeline or this timeline or that timeline." But I think that if
Hmm.
everybody kind of just remembers, and like Meta in general is a corporation, right? And so when we think of Meta more in a business sense versus the social aspect, we can kind of have a little bit more understanding of like, okay, when they're not transparent, right? They never put up the correct timelines. Everyone's guess at this point is pretty much everyone's guess. That's one of the big problems in Meta, the corporation in itself and its divisions, is that one hand never really speaks to the other hand. So even if one department knows, the other department is going to be is kind of clueless, you know. So yeah, it just
Facts. I
Hmm.
can when it's my turn, I'll shed some light
go.
on that.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Piggyback,
Oh,
man. Let's
okay.
go.
Well, so as I was a contractor for like the last 11 months, before they let us go, originally we were kind of told that we kind of made the cut, like 2026 was good for us. But then in January things kind of shifted a little bit, and it was kind of like a whole like waiting game, and there's things that I can't specifically talk about, but um you know I kind of saw the writing on the wall, months ago, because if you look around, I mean, if you ever have a problem with a with a code block script, that ain't getting fixed, right? Like that whole system's been deprecated. So we knew that we knew that the in headset building was going to go away. Like that kind of was already an
Hmm.
understood thing. It was just a matter of when. I think the surprise came from when they actually made the shit to say, you know what, we're not going to support VR. And that kind of is kind of a slap in the face to those of us that have helped build this platform for the last few years. But you're absolutely right, Sue. They operate on a need to know basis, right? So if you don't need to know it, then you don't get the information, right? And unless you
Hmm.
are working with another team to work on a certain project or a feature or something like that, you're not going to know what it is that's actually happening, right? And that's just the way Meta. But you got to realize how big Meta is. People, they say Meta's this. You got Meta, who is a conglomerate, for lack of a better term. They have Facebook, which is a complete full company, right? They have Instagram, which is a complete full company unto its own. You got WhatsApp, which is its own company, its own thing. Then you got the Reality Lab side of things, which is the VR and the Horizon Worlds and da da da. So you got to know how the hierarchy works, to realize how small of a piece we really are to the people that make decisions way up here. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I get. Like, I don't know anything. I have no insider information because I was already let go before this decision was made. So I don't have any rumblings or anything like that. I never reached out to any people that I know that are still employed, because for one, it's very annoying when people come and ask you questions that they know you're not supposed to answer, but they ask you anyway, right?
Hmm.
For
Hmm.
two,
Definitely.
for two, I don't really care, right? Because I kind of, the whole last year when they made the shift in MHCP to basically turn it into a digital Hunger Games, um, I didn't really care about creating on this platform anymore. You know,
Yeah.
um, and then so for me, I went all in on AI, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna shift my focus to something that's going to be broader than this platform, right? And I think that's what everybody needs to realize. You've learned skills over the last few years that you can apply outside of this platform. So don't pigeonhole yourself to a platform, right? You're not a world builder, you're a 3D modeler, right? You're not a scripter,
Hmm.
you're a developer, right? Start changing your vocabulary, and because if you go out in this world and you use Meta Horizon only terminology to describe what you do, this industry is going to laugh at you, because I'm
Hmm.
gonna be real. When you go out to these conferences and stuff like
Yep.
that, they put Meta Horizon people like down here, right? Compared, you got the rest of the
Really?
VR industry. Yeah, yeah. You're not
Okay.
Hmm.
you're not looked
Oh,
at in a
good to know.
favorable light. The platform is not looked at in a good light out in the industry. So when you
Hmm.
go and you put yourself in that box, you're associating yourself with that sinking ship. You know what I mean? So go ahead
Mm.
and take your skills and everything that you've learned and go apply it outside of here, right? And go apply for that job, apply for that, or go take a course, or something. But invest in yourself, man, and don't tie yourself and your happiness and your well-being to a platform where you're giving that much power to a corporation to pull it right out from underneath you.
Right. I want to
Yeah.
piggyback off of that, right? So like Meta is a very well walled garden, right? That's basically what it is. That's why it's really hard for other developers and other creators to transition from their worlds outside of Meta Horizon into Meta Horizon. It's a very well it's closed source, you know. So when you start when you're in here and you're building and you hit the community and a lot of people are meta, right? It starts to solidify into the community that that is the only way to go, right? This is a huge marketing technique that has been used for forever, as even in politics, in order to shift in and focus onto one thing. I mean, when you think of conventions and you talk about other conventions, some people just are just like, oh, I got to get to Meta Connect. I got to get to Meta Connect. Well, Meta
Mhm.
has a huge table at Meta Connect because it's their fucking convention, right? But when you go to other conventions, you start seeing that their table is a very small table at a very, very big ocean. And so, understanding that these skills are transferable in here and what you're doing, I always tell everybody to use this as a starter's kit, right? This is your introduction to tech. This is understanding a little bit of the code in order to apply those. But these are transitional skills. Now, with the shift, I mean, it is what it is. Meta was losing $80 billion investing in
Mm.
this. And now when it comes down to it, for me personally, just being in here on the ground and also watching the stock markets go from $500 a share in 2024 to now $700 to $800 in 2025 with the implement of mobile gaming, you can kind of already see where that shift was going to go. But again, a lot of people are
Mm.
not versed in that, right? They're not versed in business logistics, so they, you know, that those are not the things that they're getting. So I, you know, and that's how Meta kind of wants it. No, I mean, they want you to
Mhm.
build for their platform. They opened up a the space and made it to be a creators, right, focus. But then they opened the monetization program, and once they did that, that opens a whole nother discussion on the management, Reality Labs, Scott House, all those people that have influenced the direction and limited this creative space to become what it has become, um, which is a subdivision that's getting closed down, man, because the HOAs thought they were fucking the best, you know, and who misses out? The neighborhood. So yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm. Wow. Well,
I
I
just
don't.
want to
I
I
don't.
just want to
Oh,
clarify just real
go
quick
ahead.
that the the rising stock price did not correlate directly with mobile gaming. So I don't want to give them that credit, right? It really happened with more of the changes that they made by going after the buzzwords and investing in AI and a lot of the other initiatives that Mark Zuckerberg put into place. Mobile gaming was just something that they put into Horizon Worlds, which really didn't start showing a return until they found out how popular clothes were. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
looking at that, they weren't Meta did not lose $71 billion on Horizon Worlds. I want to make sure that those
No.
headlines are
Yeah.
not,
That. Yeah.
the
Mm.
headlines are very misleading.
Yeah.
They
That
lo-
part.
they didn't lose money. That's the
Mhm.
problem. It's Reality Labs is a research and development company. That's the research and development arm. So that's like telling AT&T back in the day that Bell Labs lost all the money on all the projects they worked on because no, they were developing technology for the phone systems, right, which then went on to be used to make money, right? And that's part of the reason why they frame this as an experiment, right? Because they experiment a lot, they do a lot of initiatives, they make a lot of changes, they move quickly. Part of the reason is because they have small teams beneath each one, small teams of six
Mm-hmm.
to 10 people, maybe 15, that can
Mhm.
move and focus. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it works, and from
But what
from the inside
happens?
out.
What happens when and we have that kind of management, but now they're friends with, let's say King in the audience, and they're really close, and that's where they're getting their opinions, and you know
Right.
what happens when we
Mhm.
have that six group of, and that's what it really comes down to. It comes down to management. I mean, even
1000%. thousand
I
percent.
I question like how much. I can never say his name. Virtual Shaw. He is a VP of the metaverse, right? He
Hmm.
is the one that is in charge of all of it. Like how much has he even put on his headset and come in here to actually see the creation and the vision that Mark Zuckerberg first had when he opened the metaverse like this, right? Because the
Absolutely.
whole point of it, right? Because Mark Zuckerberg in with Facebook, it was all about connections. It was all about how to connect with people on different levels, on easier access, being able to have that. And that was the whole vision of this. But again, when you start putting in bad management who decides that they want to play the short game of money, um and misuse um the gift of the data that they could have been collecting, right? Because Meta is a data collecting company, guy. You know what I mean? When we talk about experience and experiment, and it's so funny, Biggie Paws, that you say that, because when I first started doing content for Meta Horizons in general, I would always use the hashtag social experiment, because to me that's exactly what this was, right? Because they already seen that there is a community
Yeah.
base even on PC social apps like Second Life, right? They saw all those things, but now let's add the immersion, right? Let's add the front to front, face to face, without a screen to connect us more and see what happens. And then we open up the monetization program, and then you get, like, certain creators that do very well, and their whole point was to see how everybody could do so well. But then they also didn't want part of their pie going. But then now they're really great friends with so and so, who's that part of that 6-person fucking team. That team is trying to figure out what's going on here, but because it should think of it like code, right? If there's a fucking
Hmm.
bad code in your shit, your door is not going to open right. And that's, to me, what basically happened here.
A lot of inappropriate relationships. A
Absolutely.
lot of inappropriate relationships. And the other part too, that just to piggyback off of Sue, um, the problem happens when the creators start feeling like they aren't just creators, right? They start feeling like
Hmm.
they're above the community, right? They start feeling like they are controlling the narrative, and they're using their influence to keep other people out, right? Like myself included, I was kept out of MHCP for years, right? Even
Hmm.
though uh, the work that I put in early on is why so many of the people that got into the monetization program early actually got in there and profited, because if it wasn't for my playlists and my music, their clubs would have been a nice piece of artwork to look at. You know what I mean? So like, and the problem has always been, me being a scripter, it's always been like I've been treated like a second class citizen in the creator community, along with all the other scripters, because we don't get credit for the work that we do. The credit rolls up to the world creator, right? It doesn't roll up to the people that actually did the work, right? So that is also another issue. Like we should have been getting partial, if I worked on this world and we went 50-50 on it, that I should get half of the credit, right? That should go under my name when they go to look at numbers. That should be rolling up under my username as well, not just the world creator. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of things that were not put in place to help the community. Plus, Meta only cared about numbers; they didn't care about impact, right? So they didn't care
Right.
about the shows like the first ones, like Meta Talks with Meta Clean Rupert, and Burden of Proof, right?
Shout
Burden
out to Meta
is
Queen.
right. Shout out Meta Clean.
Mhm.
Shout out to Burden, because Burden has been the most
Yeah.
consistent and
Oh
Yes.
yes, I was on this shit
the
before.
longest running show, on this platform. Then you got one that will come in and do seasons like Same Dame. You know what I mean? So like all of these shows were impactful, but in everything that came after that, even here, what's T, that you come
Hmm.
in and you find your place. You created, I'm sure as a kid, you were like, you never thought you were going to be a talk show host, but this gave you
At
the place
all.
and the opportunity to do it, right? You found
Right.
something that you love, and you like, man, we can have some good conversations, we can have some good content, and it
Right.
starts to feed everything. But the thing is Meta never backed any of that, right? They kind of
Mm.
tried to back the studios a little bit in the beginning, like the music studios, because they were hot, right? And then they were like, all right, we're gonna back off of that. But when we first got in here in January 2022, metal was a very, very boring place. Like, I'll be real. Like, you
Very,
had two,
very.
you had two clubs, right? We had two clubs to go to. It was either Hardy World or Vivid by Danica, right?
Yeah.
And you had a studio. You had the Stew. Like, shout out to the Stew, and then you had Gutties, which ended up becoming Soapstone. So you had like four worlds to go to, and then that's when the creator community came in and was like, "Yo, we can build in here. We can create the stuff in here." Everybody started finding their lanes. They started working on stuff together. The collaboration happened, and that was the magic. And when they really put the bullet in the collaboration last year, and I say bullet because if me and Sue are working on, I'm a scripter, she's a builder, and I say, "Hey Sue, can you build me this world real quick? I got this idea." She helps me build it. I script it. I release it. Now I'm earning money. Every dollar that I earn is taking a dollar out of her pocket. You know what I mean? And that's not how you foster collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot foster collaboration by pitting creators against each other. Right now, if me and Vash Spike work together and I script something, he designs it, and then there's a sharing of the resources. There's okay, cool, we make an agreement. It's 40% to me, 60% to him, whatever, and then the money goes directly to him. So now he pays his own taxes, I pay my own taxes, and we go on about our business, right? That fostered
Mhm.
collaboration. But they didn't do that. They did the exact opposite of that at the same time while moving the goalpost every couple months. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
you cannot create a sustainable system when you're putting your foot on the back of creators' necks. But then you got other ones that I remember going into the menu maybe about a month or two ago, and I'm looking and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the top 20, I count 6 worlds from one creator. I'm
See, I
like,
wasn't
yo,
even.
Facts.
I was about to jump
yeah,
on Discovery next because Discovery has
yeah,
always been a fucking
always
problem.
been terrible.
And
Yeah,
Terrible.
that's
And you
because
and you
Terrible.
they allowed the creators that had like majority of the space to determine like oh, if you don't keep my worlds up here, I'm not going to create worlds. So
right.
they don't need visibility. So
They had.
mm,
And I was
they
saying,
didn't really. Oh, go ahead. What you was supposed to say?
oh no, 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 no! I was just about to say they had their favorites, and that's bottom line.
Absolutely,
Yep.
1,000%.
that's all.
A
That's
lot of
all that
favorites.
matters.
Yep. We know 'em.
Yeah,
Favorites.
Mhm.
yeah. They've been
And
to connect 2 and 3 times. You know,
and before
Crazy.
and it's not even
that's what
about
you want to know. Go look.
a lot of people that were even invited to connect. Some were not even creators. It was just based off of, oh, you my homie. Like we
Yeah,
chill. We I might hit it at connect. So
right.
pull up.
Yeah, that part. Right, that part. Right. Well, yeah,
Now let me stop
a
being so
lot.
vulgar.
yeah,
But
No, no,
but
you're
it's
no,
true.
you're
It's true
100%
though.
right.
It's
No,
You're
true.
keep it
100% right.
true. Keep
This
it
is
true.
what this is why we're
Yeah.
having the shift in the fucking first place. Is why we have to have the discussion anyway. I mean, it is a social platform. So the social
Mhm.
aspect and the business aspect are going to integrate, and that is one thing that they were not prepared for. Their management was not prepared to even keep their own personal biases out of decision making. Because if you even look at what they're doing now with the mobile, right? They still take that whole model, and basically all they're doing is moving it over to mobile. They're still pinting creators against creators. Discovery is
Absolutely.
still going to be favoritism. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it is not getting the root of the cause here. The root of the cause is fucking management, man. And it's the lack of
Come
transparency
on.
and
Mhm.
communication with the community itself. You got to stop treating these motherfuckers like they're be all see all, because I promise you, there are fucking millions, not millions, okay, I'm over exaggerating, hundreds. Yeah, no, I've had hundreds. I've had fucking hundreds that have crossed through my fucking stage that could put most of those fucking worlds to fucking shame, man. But because they're introverted, because they don't kiss ass, because they are going their own way, or because they all just don't even have the resources or the know how to receive the resources on how to even go that route. You get what I mean? Because it's all fucking a
Mm.
gated community. Again, our
It's
HOA
not.
fucking system sucks. I mean, that's when it comes down to it. And they're taking that same model over to mobile.
I feel
Who the
like
fuck wants to deal
when
with that in mobile?
you think of like any platform, like I look at this just as like the entertainment industry, because we're all talent, and you're gonna have the same politics. Like, if you're not willing to compromise your body, you're definitely like people think it's about favorites, but it's really not about favorites. It's literally about who's willing to fuck on who. And if you're not on that type of timing, then you're not, then you just won't be invited to shit. And that's literally the
See,
dark,
and
the
that's
darker
sad.
side to this place. A lot of people
You want
have.
to know why? Oh, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
Divine. But I just want to like write that in that little space right there. You know why that's sad? Because that is the same type of corporate whitewash bullshit that we have to deal with on the outside. This was our opportunity to create something and do something on a completely fucking different level, omitting that bullshit that we have to deal
Mhm.
with on the outside in order to make
Mm-hmm.
it enjoyable and enjoyable for all, and to to get what people fucking need, man. This was the experiment to do that, and we couldn't even do that. We want to bring out the outside bullshit into here. It's fucking crazy to me. But
Fucking
anyway, that's why
brain rot bullshit.
crazy.
No.
But yeah, sorry, Divine. But just that part right there. That's what I was.
I don't give a fuck. Gloves are off.
Keep going, Divine.
Nah, nah, you know what? That's why I
Truth
brought y'all
is
on here,
truth,
because
man.
I want to hear the truth. You know what I mean? I want to hear you guys' perceptions and opinions. Yes, you are free here on the stage. You can speak your mind however you want to.
No, I
Period.
really
You know
did
how
see a
many
future on this platform. You know what I mean? Like when we, I'm going in and out of my headset. Just when we Trimesh first came around, right? You know, a lot of us were selected to make some of these worlds, and then they started talking about more outside creators that's not us, basically, like top gaming studios or whatever. So we kind of had an idea, okay, something's fishy, something's coming, and we don't know what it is, right? So when people from, like, I don't know, Fortnite or whatever start to make these games for Horizon World, and like you said, we lost billions of it. So hey, let's focus on making mobile games only. And they really lost the soul of Horizon. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I love Trimesh. I couldn't wait till we could start doing stuff like we do in VR chat. Wait till we could start doing stuff like we do in VR chat. But then,
Mm-hmm.
but then
Mm-hmm.
lost a sense of that, that fun, that togetherness.
If you built your lifestyle around this platform, and you're making top dollar, and you're making life changing money, you got no choice but to roll with it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I don't blame those creators that dove into it. And even talking with them, they're like, well, maybe they're gonna bring VR back, later on. And that was always the big hope, right? Like, okay, we're just repeatable game loop bullshit. And because it retains the name, and retains the attention, that's what they care about. They don't care
Mhm.
how good your world looks. They don't care how good your mechanics are. Same as what ours was, right? So then what do? They suppress our game, take our mechanics, put it into theirs, boom, throw it out there. And because they have the machine behind them, they're gonna get.
All right.
See,
I'm not making mobile games. I'm not. So I don't like mobile. I don't even go on mobile. So what's the point? You know what I
Wow.
mean?
So what's going to happen to our worlds now? I don't know if anybody knows. Like, what's the podcast? This world right here. Are people just going to be coming in here on mobile? Like, or is it going to
Yeah.
disappear? Like, what's mobile? Like, or is it going to
Yeah.
disappear? Like, what's is it
No, I don't
just
think
going to
it'll
be sitting
disappear.
here?
You still can make even more money, as they say, doing mobile. But me personally, the kind of worlds I like to make, is best in VR. You know what I mean? To
Immersive
experience
games,
that. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Mhm.
Even if it's
like
just art, it doesn't look right on a mobile
It's
game
not the same
setting.
experience,
No.
exactly.
And that's why I
Mm.
came in this space for that mobile experience. You know what I mean? I wanted to be able to run in the game, shoot in the game, you know what I'm saying? Hi, hang out with friends. You know what I'm saying? Some of my friends are all over the states. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel the same
Right.
doing that
Mm-mm.
on mobile at all.
At all.
I
And I
just feel like
personally,
why even
go ahead,
go
baby.
ahead.
No,
Like,
but
why
go ahead.
start us off with primitive when y'all had all of these tools We could have been building in PC. We could have been learning TypeScript. We could have been learning all of this. They had all these things behind the scenes, and now it's like some people still don't even have a PC. Some people still are building, like, still, like, still building, obviously, with the tri-mesh blocks. It's just crazy. Like, y'all, I don't
I will
know.
say this.
Mhm.
They did you know, building primitive shapes, that was fun. They did at least teach me, and well, a lot of us actually, how to, do 3D art. I never would have thought that I was going to do that, for a career at one point. You know what I mean? I'm a musician. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I got on
Mhm.
here because of COVID, got a headset, started making shit, and then it was just fun for me over those years. And now, honestly, like you said, I learned the skills. I'm taking my 3D art somewhere else. When I'm more appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, I can make some money for it. I mean, even in real life, I'm making like toys and shit from learning 3D because when Tri-Mesh happened, and I was forced to do it on my team. We made
Mhm.
like Survivor and shit. We was forced to do that shit, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
definitely learn those skills. I am appreciative of that, but other than
Right,
that,
right.
fuck y'all. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, we got Omnidata up here on mic two. Omnidata, welcome to What's Tea Podcast. Excuse me.
Good evening, all.
Good
The
evening.
reality of the situation is, I know a lot of people out here, and I know a lot of world creators, but also Meta has failed the user. With the
Mm.
Mm.
combination of last year when wallets were being frozen, my wallet is still frozen since last May, and I
Mine
have
too.
money in there. You know, their customer service is horrendous.
Oh,
You
Gotcha.
don't
know,
even get me
you know,
started.
Agreed.
and what's really tragic is how they convey partnership, but when it really boils down to it, it's basically a pimp prostitute relationship
Mm.
that they're fostering out here. And also, what they do is they rely on us. They feed off of this corporation, feeds off of the emotional connections that we make as human beings. Yes, we are behind these splendid avatars and so forth, but the
Hmm.
reality of it is that there's the real human experience
Come
behind it,
on.
and
Hmm.
that's what they capitalize, that's what they exploit on.
Mhm.
Trust me, B, they have psych people doing this big psych war out here. Why do you think the mirror is such a popular device in a world where people will stand for hours in front of a mirror? They know what they're doing, and they
Mm.
capitalize on how the human mind works. I mean, I've migrated over 500 people from Horizon over to VR chat. And when people have went over there, they're much happier. Yes,
Mhm.
we don't have the proper avatars like we do. There's not proper male masculine representation over in VR chat. But the fact of the matter is, ever since the word blew out on the streets out here of what they're going to do, along that this week I've just migrated over close to 60 people. People are like, Omni, can you teach us how to go over there? Now they're motivated because people are realizing that we are not having to be enslaved in one universe. This, what people create out here, is wonderful. But what is the true definition of the human experience out here is the connection that we make as human beings with each other.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
that's what
Mhm.
we have to do, and show them that you need us more than we need you.
Mhm.
And it's about time that maybe the floodgates are that we all start migrating over to another platform. We are the
Hmm.
community, not the corporation makes us the community. We can breathe without you, and
You
the
know,
line has to be drawn.
I had me and Meta Rupert went live one time on Instagram. We were talking about our brands and how we're going a squiggly line and we're going and some people want that meta line. So like as far as for users, right? They're not doing great by their user base, but they're also a corporation and their user base and their demographic are not um 21 and up. They're the younger generation that is easily to be able to play the brain rot games, right? They're trying to compete with places like Roblox that have already been established for so long. So for the community that wants to continue to learn how to do mobile and stuff like that, continue to still use this as a resource, and learning school tool to do that, because those skills are still very important for everybody to go out there, whether or not you're still trying to just stay in one division or if you're trying to expand to another one. You know what I mean? So the corporation, like as far as like when it comes to our community, right? We do make up a lot of the community, but the algorithm also shows us worlds like our join our friends and certain worlds that were 18 and up, because we always go through the 18 and up. There's still, when you first like, I highly suggest everybody do this because it's so interesting to see. I do this periodically. I'll make me an alt account and I will go through the whole process to see what the new users or what they're pushing out there and what they're doing, and see the patterns there. Like, and it's so interesting to watch because what you see and what we see on a daily basis as part of that community that integrates this way, versus when you're a new user and you are literally spawned with nothing but children. Even if you look on the YouTube videos that do reviews on Meta Horizons and why Meta Horizons in itself has always had a bad reputation for this, is because they also, when they go in, because they're new users as well, and the algorithm hasn't learned their behaviors yet, um, they end up going and spawning into a whole bunch of kids, no matter what, or nobody. Even at 18 or plus, it never been, so Meta Horizon has been filling its users from the beginning, to be honest with you, when it comes to discovery. um and that, I don't think that's going to change, even going over to the mobile. Yeah, my gummies
Mm.
kicked in, so I may go for more
Nah, you're
information.
good. You good,
Vetting
boo.
process. There's been there's been predators, like people who have like criminal records of being sex offenders on here, and they had no idea until people in the community had to do their job for them. They think just because you can push out a great world that, oh hey, you're a rising star, but at like morally, it's it seems like, people who have strong values, strong morals, like it doesn't really matter. It's a dangerous place.
No,
Very
man. There's
dangerous
Mhm,
place.
let's speak facts. There's some very well known creators out here that are fucking predators, right? And they're protected. They're protected
Call
by
him out.
fucking Meta.
God damn it.
Right.
Call him out.
So
It's like,
you
nah.
know what I mean? There's
Oh, they already gone.
no, they're not.
Oh
So,
no,
yeah,
Oh, they
all
still
of them are
some
not
left.
going.
There's still some left.
yeah.
They not
There's
all going.
there's hush money out here being paid to people's families for inappropriate shit with kids. Like
Yeah.
there's all kinds of crazy shit behind the scenes that people don't even realize has been happening. You know what I mean? And the shit's
Mm.
been investigated and brought up, but swept under the
Mhm.
rug, right? And then you got other
Yeah, because they're
creators
not
that
willing to do a background check. So they, oh, you
well,
want to do a background
it's
check?
not
All right,
even that.
cool.
It's not
They're
even that.
making
It's not
money
even
from
that.
them.
They don't want to. They don't want to ruin
Exactly.
their golden goose, right? Let's be
Yeah.
real,
Mhm.
right?
Making
It has
money.
nothing to do with the background check. It has to do with, hey man, if we keep it quiet, then. But I do know of another
Mm.
creator that was removed from the program, and then the same people that have been paying hush money going to go and just do his defense and try everything under the sun to try to get him back when he's been investigated and found that he's a damn predator. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
But then they
how
just
how
take
wow.
his worlds and put it
Yeah.
huh?
under their account. Like
Put it
they
under
still
their
have to make your
account and then they
bag
pay him
friend.
out. No. You know what he does is
It's real though.
they go
That's
start an
real.
LLC. No, they go start an LLC and then get into the program that way because there's no guardrails. They just let everybody in.
Mhm.
So they go start
Mm.
LLC, come in, and then win a contest in the next month. You know what I mean? And this is real shit. I'm not making this up. These are real things that have happened, and these are things that have been happening under the watch of this poor management. Somebody else will go and say, "Oh, me and my team didn't win a contest. If we're gonna leave the platform now, hey, guess who wins the contest the next month? You know what I mean? Like this is
Mm.
bullshit that's been happening. You got people that are from
Wow.
the community that are judges for these contests. Hey, their friends are winning prizes. Hey,
Yeah,
you know
that
what I
Right,
makes
mean?
no
right.
So,
How
sense
you know,
whatsoever.
convenient. How
right.
convenient.
So the thing is like the all of the shit that Meta has put out there, is always comes with a caveat. They're like, yeah, we're this, we're that. You know what I mean? But you got people on this program that are influencing people who make decisions, and then they're the fucking most rotten, or the rotten fruit of the bunch.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's pretty crazy to me
Totally
that this is allowed to
completely
happen.
on these
You know what I
standards.
mean?
It's like
And I know for a fact that this creator got removed because he was investigated, right? And the reason why, is because a lot like this decision right here that we're here to talk about came from way above. So the people in the Discord couldn't save him. You know what I mean? But they tried every fucking way they could to get him back into the program. Like how is that acceptable? You know what I mean? Like, and
Mm.
these are
And
the people
that's
that we're putting our
so.
livelihoods in the hands of. Like, come on now. Like, this
And
is
he
bullshit.
never fixed this damn game. I love that fucking game.
Jen Smash, everybody. Hey, what's up, sis?
Hi, Jen. The crazy thing is, Meta
There,
made exceptional games. Why the hell did we have to start making games?
Emotional damage.
Because they got to pay people for it.
My bad.
Like,
yeah.
they want free work. You know what I mean? They dangle
That's
that carrot in
another
front
thing.
of you. Yeah, they
Yeah.
dangle the carrot in front of you and say, hey, if you do very, very well, I had people come up to me and they're like when I got let into the early access program, people were coming up to me like, congratulations, the program is open. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, this was a one-time deal that I got brought in, me and King of Miami got brought in at the same time. And because of the work we did on Battle for Steel City. You know what I mean? And the thing is that we thought, okay, cool. We put out a quality. We raised the bar. We put out a game. This is different. We had NPCs. We had NPCs before NPCs were available. We had, the we had a whole almost like an RPG feel like to the game. Amazing RJ on the visuals. Me and King of Miami on the mechanics in code blocks. By the way, like, we didn't have access to TypeScript, so we did all that in code blocks. And I had engineers like telling me, oh man, your TypeScript is good, and I'm like, yo, that's ain't no TypeScript, my guy. Like, whoa, he's like, whoa, we didn't think this was possible in code blocks. And I'm like, yeah, but the thing is when you give people, you always have haves and have nots. The have nots got to work twice as hard to get half as far. You know what I mean? And that's always been the case on this fucking platform. So
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I feel so vindicated right now. I feel like one of those conspiracy theorists, like in the fucking 90s, and all that shit's coming out now. And I'm like, see, I've been fucking telling y'all. Yeah, motherfuckers, like, serious. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why it's so important for the community to you, especially for those that are trying to create brands, that are trying to transfer into the tech industry in general, even with content creating, to utilize these skills. Take what they're make these motherfuckers. If they're going to take from you, make sure you are getting everything you fucking can from them. And that is the
Send that invoice
resources.
for
That's
every
those
little thing.
like I'm serious, because those skills are transferable. And like, even going all the way back to the beginning of the conversation, for some of the people that weren't here, but Meta is such a small pond in a huge fucking ocean, man. And the more that you expand and use these transferable skills, the more that your mind also expands, your perceptions, your experience, and you will see and be able to grow so much more further than this bullshit that this corporation has been putting all of us through. I mean, like, I not, Indie Tours has never been backed by fucking Meta. I got into it with some people in public places because I didn't like their fucking behavior. And it is what it is. And those people have always had a seat at the fucking table. So Indie Tours has always been blackballed. And because of that reason, I'm always, I come from the OT background. So for me, like, there's always a fucking way. And this corporate, I work in corporate. I have to fight for my patients all the time from the fucking government, from one of the biggest working corporations. And so, like, fuck this, man. Seriously. use these skills no matter what it is, because that is one thing that I can say about Meta, man. You can get a lot of information and learn quite a bit by using their resources.
Mhm.
Thank you
I'm
so
gonna,
much for that, Sue.
I'm
So,
gonna
guys,
just
so
Yeah.
it is. I wanted to get into so much more, but it's 8:54, so we gotta like start wrapping it up. Unfortunately, if you guys want to have a part 2 to this, I would love to come back and bring the same panel if you guys are willing to sit down with the same conversation.
Oh yeah,
Biggie Paul's
yeah. You have a
teacher
great show.
Danny
Yeah, for
Vesh
sure.
Spike, Divine
Mhm.
Intercession, Sue to the Q.
Ooh,
All
that's good.
welcome back. Guys, before we leave out of here, though, before we wrap it up, I wanted to hear just some quick final thoughts from each and every one of you.
And can I
Before we
can
say
I
goodbye.
could I influence the direction of those? I'm really curious what actionable steps people are going to take. Like, has anybody decided? Like, I'll just say real quick. I'll do mine real quick. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna do the mobile. I really haven't had a lot of the negative experiences that a lot of people have gone through. I'm learning about all this right now, and I'm really sorry. That's terrible. But I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna use what I got, and then I'm gonna use TypeScript. And I think my next thing is gonna be the Snap Spectacles.
Okay,
So,
sweet,
I'm
sweet.
not 100% yet, but I'm looking into that because they use TypeScript. So that's what I wanted to share. I'd love to
I
hear what
love
you
that
guys are
for
doing.
you.
Thank you.
Sweet, sweet.
Uh,
Thank you, teacher Danny.
Yeah, good.
You're
No,
welcome.
that's dope, man. Hey, and I'm not saying like I'm gonna be real. Look, do I think that mobile is gonna be successful on Horizon Worlds? Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's gonna be. I think it's work. They're gonna turn their machine on, right? They're gonna bring everybody from the apps and stuff. I think it's in the long run, it's gonna be good. So if you're making clothes and selling stuff out here, hey, you want to keep doing it. Like do yourself what you got to do. But for me, I'm all in on AI. I just wrapped up my first AI masterclass with took people from no development experience or limited development experience to building their own app. They did it in 5 weeks. Well, after I taught them every week, I taught them a piece of my um my methodology. I gave them my prompts. I gave them everything that I use. I had no gatekeeping. And that I'm going to continue down that path. I'm also launching a AI agency, which helps me. Basically, I built out some workflows to diagnose the issues with your digital footprint. So if you're having issues ranking on Google with your website, if you're not getting the follow through on your social media, you need some help with any of these type of workflows, and want to put automation behind your business and behind your what you're doing. Let me know and we
That's
can talk, have a
dope.
conversation. So that's what I'm doing.
Thank you so much, Biggie Paul.
For
Oh,
oh, go you go first. No,
oh,
you go
by all
first.
means, wait.
Uh,
I'm a gentleman, please.
no, thank you, sir. For for Indie Tours, so Indie Tours is going and branching out, but this was a decision that I've been wanting to do. I've just been sitting on it for a year, to, but it was to expand into other social apps anyway. So this is just kind of like that. Then like, okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. There are other social apps out there that are still up and coming. So there's not enough as far as any tours as the brand XR to actually do enough tours on a consistent basis just yet. But as far as like VR chat, we're going, our team is going over there. However, we are still going to be very active in Meta Horizons gaming system. We are going to be coming out with a game and also doing things like that on the side. And then Indie Tours in general is doing the full transition to just VR to also XR, also working in the spec and AI department, and just really expanding on networking and more into the tech community as a whole. So that's our shift.
That's
Oh
Thank
my
dope.
bad.
you, Sue. All right,
Oh,
Vish.
I guess I'll go. I'm gonna be honest. I am going to take a break and get some fresh air, touch some grass. You know what I mean? I've been on this platform. I feel like forever. It seems 4 or 5 years, whatever. Um, I don't know. In life, I came on here, just the depression and all that stuff. So this was a great, place for me to lay all my my thoughts, my feelings, my art. Get in touch with people around me. But I feel like me personally, I neglected real friends out in real world. No, I'm not. I don't mean like that, like real friends, because every friend I have in here are my real friends. But the outside life though, I neglected a few people, so I'm just gonna go back, get in touch with everybody, wellness checks, and just take a long break. But then when I come back, I feel like I'm just gonna take my talents somewhere else. I might be pretty much done with Horizon. You know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
I don't feel like it's working anymore.
Yeah,
Everything I
that's
wanted to do, everything I wanted to do in VR
good.
chat, like with their graphics and all that stuff, I wanted to bring in here. But then I thought about it, it's like, what's the point? They already have it over there, so do it over there. So I might go back over there, and yeah, we shall see.
All
This,
right. You make sure you let us know whenever you come back because I am a huge fan of your work, man.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You
Thank
have
you, thank you,
wonderful, wonderful rhymes. Beautiful.
thank you,
All right.
One
And
of my
Divine.
top 5 for sure. Top 5.
Oh, for sure.
bro.
For
I
sure.
appreciate that, bro.
So I'm just gonna be just falling back on basically what I came in here for. I had a spiritual based practice. That's the original reason I came into VR, to just expand that. And I just feel like I'm learning more about AI and how to, I'm never gonna lie, AI is really the shit. Like, if you really want to be taken professionally and seriously, use it. Use it. Like, your ideas, all these great ideas, people will say, I don't know where to start. AI will help you format things piece by piece. And I think that, you know, that's just what I'm focused on. Expanding my business, expanding my brand, and like I learned a lot from here in terms of like how to handle myself in business, how to value myself, how to not say yes to every opportunity just because it's like something that, because initially when we first came into VR, my family was looking at me crazy until I got my first big opportunity, until they seen my first check. But at the end of the day, like the things that come with, just I think that, any platform that you go into, just do your research, read what their moral and, brand ethics is about, and make sure that they're actually like, holding themselves to that, because you could literally become discouraged and get to the point where it's just like, hold on, like, you know what I'm trying to say. Just make sure that you're doing your research, and make sure every little thing that you do when it comes to people that have trillion-dollar budgets to lose, tax them. Whatever they want you to do, make them pay you. Don't be so thirsty for visibility or to be a favorite, because you'll never be a favorite. You're just one person that they're going to use until a program like DEI gets scrapped, and then they no longer, care about your community or whatever you contributed to it here. So, like, just know what you bring to the table and make sure that you're getting paid for it. Obviously, if it's in alignment with your ethics, and that's it.
Oh. Well, guys, thank you so much. I want to thank my panel today for coming. Biggie Paws, Teacher Danny Vesh, Spike, Divine
thank you.
Intercession, and Soup to the Q. I would, like I said, I would like to have another. I would like to have a part 2 of this. If you guys are interested, please let me know. I'll be reaching out. To the audience, thank you guys so much for joining us today. You could be anywhere else in the world, but listen, you decided to be here, and we appreciate it. Well, that's our show for today. Listen, we love you, but God loves you most. Take care.
That was great.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you.
No problem.
I love how Sue and Biggie were just coming with the facts.
Yes,
Like,
I
yo,
was like, I had my popcorn out. I said, "Oh, this is juicy."
I'll let y'all do your thing, baby. I was in.
Y'all definitely did your thing. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for coming, Biggie Paul.